Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. One is fine with me. Put that back there. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. It's so good to be here before you all. First of all, you're going to fix that for me? First of all, give all praises to the Most High, in the name of Rawchaa. Give it up, give it up. Blessings, brothers and sisters, throughout the four corners of the earth. So many are joining us throughout the earth right now. Shalom.
The waters.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Right before, just getting this ready here. It's gonna have to be good enough. Right before we, let me see something here. Let me know where.
Yup, that's
Right
it.
there?
Yeah.
A little bit too much?
No, it was good where it was. You can, right there. That's good. That's
All
good.
right, there you go.
Thank you.
Connecticut, Shalom. All praises to the congregation of Connecticut. Let me hear you. Connecticut, where are you? All right, round of applause. Right? Blessings to Bishop Ganon. Blessings. I know we have Boston. Where Boston at? A few people from Boston came in. Blessings. It's good to see you all here. It's a blessing. Before we go into the lesson, we have an itinerary here, right? Before we go into the lesson, the elders of the church, myself, Elder Rawchaa, and Elder Lawya, would like to take communion with you all. The bread and the wine will also give you some insight before the lesson is over. We'll also give you some insight on the direction of the church going forward. All right? It's about to go down. Everything the Most High have shown us since the beginning of this ministry, we're in the midst of it, and it's time to prepare the body for what's about to happen in the earth prophetically. There's a lot of shaking that's going on and has gone on. Now, I'm visiting a lot of these areas because I understand that since the so-called virus, a lot of these areas have been under serious attack, right? So much uncertainty and so many things that have happened, even to Boston, Connecticut, this region in particular. And years ago, I went into New York and never had a chance to sit down with you all to have a one-on-one, and we're going to have that after the lesson also. Because there's some ambiguity, some misunderstandings that may have shaken some of you, that may have had you question the faith or even the church in of itself. And I just wanted you all to have an open, honest discussion so that you know that you can trust the men who the Most High called to help us go through this. And understand this. We all need the Most High, but I have enough sense to know that I cannot do this without you all. And I need y'all to know this. Neither can you do it without us. And if we can't stick together even through the tough times and reason with one another, why were we called? Right? Why were we called? We were called to endure. So I'm here to encourage you all, because you can look around now and see what's going on in the earth. You see the prophecies unfolding. But those that are left here, believe it or not, through all the shaking, will lead hundreds, if not thousands of people who will need some direction. Believe me, I know. So you stand in strong, you persevere, and guess what? If you do have any questions after this, we're going to turn the mic off publicly and we'll have the conversation on the Lord's Sabbath. But I'll tell you this, before this Sabbath is done, there'll be no questions, and I have no doubt that you'll be more inspired to finish this work in the Spirit of Christ than you've ever been inspired to do so before. Man, it sounds like I know that song. I'm like, oh, who's playing that song? Go ahead, boy. I'm ready to get this guy. Get him over in Philadelphia. That's that keyboard play, ain't it? Well, something about that music, boy, that touches me. Because y'all don't realize that song right there, Lord have mercy. In a bathroom in Egypt, Sharm el-Sheikh. We were in Alexander. Was it Sharm el-Sheikh? No. That was Alexander. We was in San Stefano.
Yeah.
San Stefano, Alexandria, right across from the Four Seasons. Boy, we coming back full circle to Zion. Small little apartment on the 10th floor, a flat. And believe it or not, it was Yahweh, Elder Lawya's brother, who came up with the original progression for Zion on a keyboard. It was Yahweh. They were in this little room, no bigger than from here to about an arm length past this table. Him, my son, and Yahweh up in that room and never complained. I put my keyboard there, Raphael came with a program called Personas, and one day I went out to the supermarket and came back, and I heard Maestro for the first time, picking up from where Yahweh was. I'm like, who's this guy playing the keyboard? And it was Michael, Maestro. I didn't even know he's played keyboards. And I said, hold up. I'm like, they didn't even know I sung. Only a few people know I was a singer or a songwriter at that time. We were just out over there in Egypt, ready for the next phase of this ministry, ready to flow into the wilderness if we had to. Left everything behind. Man, I heard this, and I got on the phone. I said, hey, Ralph, I need you to come over. I said, you come over real quick. I put a mattress in the bathroom. Took a cord, and you should have seen how weird this looked in this apartment. Took a long cord in a one-bedroom apartment and put the microphone in the bathroom. Padded it up because, you know, those particular bathrooms, they're all tile from the floor up, and it's an echo when you go into the bathroom there. And I put mattresses up. And I said, you know what, we need to do this sort of like a Boys to Men type of song. That's what I was thinking. And I said, I'm gonna start off real soft because I don't wanna come in abrasive. And then I'll should come with the heavenly angel type voice because he had a good falsetto. And I said, I can bring Ralph at the very end with the strong Eddie Ruffin, whatever, or Wanye Indy. I feel the very good, all of me. I'm like, we got the voices for it. And I just sat there and I just wrote the whole song. It took me, through the Spirit of the Almighty, I can tell you, it took me all about 15 minutes to write the whole song. All the parts were done. And we called them over. I went in the bathroom, did my part. I'm like, that's it. I said, go ahead, she come. He was practicing. I'm like, go ahead, practice in the bathroom. He sung his part. Ralph took it home, and I said, okay, now we can all do the backgrounds together. And this song was probably, to Zion, it came from heaven. It's a song that was done, it was fully finished really in about an hour. We've never done a song that quick. Within 2 hours, the song was finished. And it gave me so much comfort based on what we were dealing with. And if we weren't there in Egypt at that time, the song would not have come into fruition. It was what we were dealing with. I hear the Spirit calling me, drawing me back home. Been suffering with my family. I know it won't be long. One day you're going to look for me, and I'll be going home. Israel is calling us back home to Zion. And we just sat back after singing it and just listened to it, comforting one another, knowing that we were all we had in a strange country with a different language. And at that time, I had no idea that the Most High would bring me back or bring us back so that we can all go into Zion together, one last round. Brothers and sisters, that's where we are right now. That's where we are. And what I would like to do, not just as an elder, but a brother first to with all of you, is to take communion. The bread of Christ, as well as the wine, as a reminder of what this is. This is about the awakening. This gathering is about bringing forth the body of Christ. It took me a while to realize and understand, even coming up, what my calling was to do this. And guess what? I didn't want to do this, okay, at all. But we can't sit back and to wait for the world to change and complain about something we're not willing to contribute to when it comes to getting our people together. And it's not going to be hard. I mean, it's not going to be an easy task. Yes, it's going to be hard, but we must be forgiving, long-suffering. We must be patient. And we can't just be ready to discard people away in these times of trouble. We have to be the ones that others lean on when they're rejected, while they're being rejected. As Christ was here for us in our dark moments, when he could have rejected all of us. We could never lose sight of that. We could never lose sight of Christ's mercy when he called us in our darkest moments and forgave us for our transgressions. He didn't call any of us here because of our righteousness. He died for our righteousness. He gave us an opportunity through his blood so that we can appreciate the forgiveness that comes with repentance. And through that, we teach from another perspective. We don't teach from a perspective of stoning people or condemning people. We live in the perspective of forgiveness, of making people whole, having them with the same opportunity Christ gave us to stand without guilt, without darkness, to show the world that they repent by standing with the Most High and for his people. Those are true saints. That's a true teacher. A true teacher, a true man or woman who would teach the word of God isn't to go to someone or to discourse with someone to find out where they're wrong and how can you correct them. No. A real man and a real woman of the Most High is seeking where people need help, where they're sick, and how can we heal them? How can we heal them from the sin? So that now, if they seek to do darkness or wrong or go back into whatever they were dealing in, the Holy Spirit kicks in and grieves their spirit. The guilt sets in that won't allow them to step over that line of darkness. That's the next level in teaching the commandments. Not condemnation, but healing a person to see themselves and to see that dark person as a separate person altogether, that they are in rivalry with or looking to condemn. They're not seeing that person, that dark person that Christ forgave in them. They're viewing that dark spirit from the outside of them, knowing what they're contending with. And that's what Paul understood. He understood that. And he consent that the law was right because now he can condemn that person himself. And that's when you know you've conquered sin. Not when someone else can point it out. When you can point it out and condemn it and see that dark person in you and to heal yourself and put that person under subjection. That's the next level of the commandment. And when we understand that, we become more patient. Paul, Pharisee, came out of the Pharisees a condemner. His whole ministry he was trying to fix the men who were in leadership, who thought that they can bring that same condemnation into Christ's church without a level of violence. If you stone everybody that's in the church and condemn everybody that comes in that's already being trampled upon on the outside of here, who's going to be left to lead? You can't have a congregation filled with scared people, with people who are afraid to come to the forefront and say, you know what? Something is wrong with me. I've been struggling with something. I'm hurting right now. Why are they afraid to come forward? And we're going to talk about this because one brother said not too long ago, Elder, we got to put a lesson together with this, that, and the other because we're dealing with this more so in numbers in the church. And I said, yes, we are dealing with that. He says, well, do you give me some insight? I said, we can put lessons together. Either we can deal with what people do on the wrong side of things after they have done it, or we can show them through our teachings that it's okay for them to come to us before the sin is executed. If they are afraid to come to you about what they're dealing with, we're going to deal with all these issues going forward because why? We're going to hear it on the back end with them being afraid of condemnation. And they're going to do it behind your back. But if they see other people being condemned and stoned, then they'll be ashamed to come forth themselves and tell you their sickness. And this is why Christ didn't go to the Pharisees. He didn't go to the scribes. Our people need healing. Our people are sick. Our people have been conspired against. Our people are downtrodden. He came with that perspective to understand that. And his healing brought them to a level to respect the law. We have to, and guess what? This is how we're going to have to understand the healing perspective, the healing part of a ministry. We have to bring people to the knowledge of the law. But they have to what? They have to trust us enough to speak with us, to talk to us, to tell us what they're dealing with, knowing that they're not going to be condemned or blasted all over the place. Or when they talk to you about something, then it becomes a social media topic. How can they be healed when they are afraid to talk to those who they thought they could trust? So understand, when we take the body of Christ, which is the bread and wine, it's not in condemnation. The bread, what we are remembering is that Christ's body was sacrificed and it was broken for us. We take this in remembrance of what Christ did for us. When we drink the wine in appreciation for that sacrifice, knowing that Christ shed his blood for us, which gives us an opportunity to step up as priests without guilt or without darkness. Why? Because, hey, I can step up as a priest, as a teacher. Because Christ, the only one who could actually, brothers and sisters, go before the throne with the highest priesthood, sacrifice his blood so that my sins or your sins don't condemn us. And with that condemnation, we can stand in boldness without fear, without guilt of past transgressions, and do Christ's work. Elder Lawya, if you can read, I would like to first do a communion with you, brothers and sisters. The bread of Christ.
Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians 11 and 23. For I received of the Lord that which I also delivered unto you, that the Lord Yeshua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me.
Christ has sacrificed his body. Eat.
After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me.
Christ shed his blood on the heavenly tables, sprinkled his blood on the heavenly tables in heaven for the forgiveness of our sins. We thank Yeshua for the sacrifice. Drink. Let's give it up to Ahaya Bahashim Yeshua from the throne. Praise the Almighty. All right. Well, we're going to give the band a break for a second. Something's speeding back over there. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. We're going to jump right into the lesson. We're going to try to have a lesson for about an hour, and then we're going to open it up. Let's see. Yeah, we're right on time. It's up 1 o'clock. Yeah. We're going to bump all this up 1 hour. Every last thing. 1 hour. 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 1 hour Yeah, everything's going to break up. We're going to bump up 1 hour because it so happens that the venue y'all found was closer than what we thought. So we saved an hour, so we're going to bump everything up an hour. All right? I want to say also real quick that I know y'all been hearing this online, that all praises be to the Most High. We're going to have a Maccabees program, a program for the brothers, and a young Maccabees program for the young men, to raise them in the admonition of the Almighty. Leadership skills, scripture skills, trades, you name it. We're going to focus on the Maccabees program first, and then we're going to also add in a program, especially for the young ladies, being led through the elder sisters when it comes to certain talents, etiquettes, decorum, right? Like it used to be growing up. Our young ladies aren't getting the same guidance that they were getting, and believe it or not, you have to pay more attention growing up to the girls because there's so much that goes on with them in preparation of being a wife. It's different than boys. Okay, it's way different. The girls go through changes with their body and all these things that they have to understand. When their bodies change, something in their minds change. And men just don't understand that, but mothers know. Because they went through it. So at these certain stages, our young ladies are being left to figure this out by themselves. But when you get the virtuous women in position, it'll say, listen, baby, this is what you're going through. This is how you handle this. And I remember where the elder women handled the girls with care. And the girls respected that guidance. But there's nothing out here in this world that can prepare our girls for when their bodies begin to change and they're not getting direction with what to do when it comes to their flowers, when it comes to holding their virtue, when it comes to holding the respect and virtue that comes with purity. And I believe that that need to be taught. I see all these things online where, you know, and it's okay. People do what they do. But I see so many things online where women are being shown how to do their makeup, their nails, you know, their hair. And of course, somebody, you know, it's okay to have yourself put together. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's an imbalance, right? You don't see nothing online telling girls you're at that age of your flowers where your body's changing, your mind is changing. These are the things you have to put on based on this change of the body, based on the atmosphere that's out here, what's going on with the men, what's going on with strangers, how to honor yourself, knowing the angels are watching, that the Most High is watching. You're going through a transformation. And we had women at every age change there for that transformation of a young girl into a wife, into her adulthood, and she was carried over as a wife to a man who would appreciate a young girl that's been raised to be a wife. You don't see people online, yeah, this is how you wrap your hair. This is how you do your hair. This is how you take care of your hair. Okay? This is how you style your hair. This is how you dress. You know, here's a difference, right? So we're going to have that program for our young ladies too. That's going to be coming soon. But first and foremost, we have to concentrate on the Maccabees program. The first program is going to be all the brothers who never had an opportunity to actually come up under me personally, like Elder Lawya, like the other men. A full program like I had for them done for all the brothers in the church. So that now y'all will understand the doctrine, not just the doctrine, right? You'll all understand why we go about certain things and how we do it based on, from a biblical perspective. We never really had that opportunity, okay? And we're going to raise the young men with the Young Maccabees program. It's going to be absolutely outstanding. Okay, we got a baby over there, huh? That baby's saying, give me milk. Milk. All right, let me just acknowledge the leaders here. Bishop Ganan, Officer Anan, Officer Karash, if y'all can give it up for those men. And their wives. Right? Also Boston, Deacon Yaikwab Jacob, Deacon Ricard. We have a serious lesson today that I want to talk about, right? Real quick. And at the end of this lesson, I'm going to open it up with if people have any questions when it comes to doctrine. Or if you have any questions based on the lesson, since it's pertaining to the topic, I'll be able to answer this for the world. Because maybe you have a question somebody out there might have, okay? And then after that, we're going to shut it down and we're going to have a conversation. What I wanted to go into, right, I wanted to talk about today how the Gentiles, the world, believe it or not, folks, the whole world structure was set up to replace God's people. And that's why I named this today, the world. This world tried to replace the true Israelites. And it's important we understand this, because that in of itself tells you how important Israelites are, how important we are to the world without even understanding it. They tried to replace us. Now, they'll try to downplay this when we say, we're Israelites. Have you seen that lesson, the 12 lost tribes found? We're God's people. Christians will try to downplay it. It doesn't matter. They'll go into their gaslighting. Oh, it doesn't matter. God loves all people, as if someone stated he didn't love anyone. Automatically they go to their talking points. Jew or Greek, rich or poor. If we in Jesus, we're all Abraham's seed. All right. It's as if they structured that doctrine to debate us, who are now claiming we're Israelites. Why do I say that? I didn't hear all this Jew, Greek, and all this other stuff when the Christians in America and throughout the world were stating that all people everywhere should support the state of Israel in the Middle East. Now, they'll tell us religion doesn't matter, what are you talking about, your Bible thumpers? Folks, the whole political landscape that's going on in the Middle East right now is predicated off of a biblical promise of restoration according to the Bible. That's what they're teaching in all the Christian churches, that we're in Israel today because this is the restoration of God's people. So all the turmoil and bombs and Gaza and all that, at the root of all that is a biblical perspective. They'll tell us the Bible doesn't matter when it comes to us, but they're fighting the whole wars, putting in trillions of dollars in the Middle East on that same premise. On the same premise. I need y'all to think about this. They'll tell us, hey, Jew or Greek, rich or poor. But you got a whole country over there where America is invested in the trillions and trillions of dollars to back up people who claim to be Israel. They tried to replace us. And we're going to talk about that. Oh yeah, do y'all know that it's a, real quick, do y'all know that it's a East Indian holiday today? I mean, this week? Did y'all hear about it? Man, y'all got to keep up. The East Indian holiday, y'all going to be excited about this, right? I think it's called Diwali. The East Indian Holiday Festival of Lights. I think it's this week. Y'all didn't know about that? Well, like America have the Thanksgiving period after Halloween and all that. Well, the East Indians has Diwali. Diwali. Now, what is this? It's the Festival of Lights for East Indians, Babylonians. Diwali is the Festival of Lights, a major holiday in India and among the Indian diaspora that celebrates the victory of light over darkness. Different gods and goddesses are worshipped and are prayed to during this time of year, right? Celebrated for 5 days, typically late October or early November, right? We're in the end of Diwali. It invokes lighting lamps, decorating homes with Rangali, feasting, exchanging gifts, and sweets. The specific date changes each year according to the Hindu lunar calendar. Lunar, moon. So it's really the same holiday, believe it or not, at a different time concerning the Jewish people's Hanukkah. Same gods and goddesses of ancient Babylon, but they're not telling you. Right? You wouldn't believe what they do to kick off Diwali. Does anyone know in particular what they do? Anyone? Let me hear you. Light candles? Boy, I wish they only lit candles. Yeah, I'm going to show you what they do. I'm going to show you what they do. You'll probably have to go home and see it online. But hey, I'm gonna let you know right now, the people they are letting in this country. Lord have mercy. Okay? I'm gonna show you real quick what they doing out there. Right? Okay, Elder Lawya, I got a shock for you. You're going to see it. I'm going to show you how they pop off their Sabbaths before I go into this, because it's all connected. They tried to replace us, and they're all complicit, these Babylonians. Our Feast of Lights is what? Our Feast of Lights is what? It's a time of year, it's going to come down the line, where during the Maccabean period, we cleansed the temple, the whole nine, and the Most High restored enough oil for 8 days so that we could cleanse the temple. That's our Feast of Lights. Now let me show you Diwali, the Feast of Lights. And these are the people that they're trying to use to replace us, folks. Let me see here. Let me pull it up for those who don't know about this. India celebrate Diwali. Right? Let's get it here. I'm going to get it right here. Let me know if you see it, Elder Lawya. Right? Diwali, where is it? It's on YouTube, right? Hold on, let me get it. I'm gonna make sure we can see it. Right here. Right here. So this is, see that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, you see that, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's see if we can find that. Right? You see it?
Probably have to close this out and come back in. So,
Oh, cancel it?
yeah, cancel it. Yeah, come back in.
We're going to cancel it. Wait till y'all see this, folks. You're not going to believe it. Right? See it? Let's do it this way.
Is that it?
There it is. Thank you, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to show y'all. You think our Feast of Lights, you're going to love the Feast of Lights the Most High have given us. All right? We're going to take it, we're going to give y'all the celebration of Diwali real quick. Right here. Welcome to the Feast of Lights. You know what they do on Diwali to get it kicked off? Well, they take all their cows, their sacred cows, because you know they don't eat cows because they believe cows are synonymous with the gods, right? The gods come in through the cows. The bull horns goes way back to Baal. The golden calves, which links directly to why they do not deal with cows because they worship Baal. The horns. So once a year, I did the research on this. Once a year, they take a full 2 to 3 months, right? Because you got to get the fertilizer dung gets ready so that they can go into the next season with it, right? But they keep a full month of it, of cow dung, roll it up into big piles, and throw it at each other in celebration of Diwali. I'm going to show you how they worship the Most High. These are the people they got coming over hanging out with us. The reason why we celebrate the cow dung festival. There it is. They decorate the dung with flowers. Wait till y'all, when y'all get home, y'all gonna see this. Y'all not gonna believe it.
I thought it was a myth. I thought it was a legend. I thought it was fiction. I said I'm gonna show up here, see if it's real, and now here I am with everyone, ready to celebrate.
A festive time of year. Now don't forget, folks, here's the laugh. See, the laugh is on us, though. I'm going to go into these scriptures to show you. The laugh is on us as far as they're concerned. Because the synagogue of Satan and the world powers, brothers and sisters, they're not just getting anyone to replace us. I'm going to tell you, They're getting the low of the low, who worship through heathenistic practices. They are intentionally getting these people to come in, knowing the sadistic behavior they grew up under. Imagine this is what they grew up with, and now they live right next door to you. And if they will deal with this, what else are they dealing with? What else sadistic mindsets are they in? And don't forget, you have to think about this. Don't forget this. The whole concept of how they destroyed our communities came from India. Okay? The face of thug have become who? Tupac Shakur. But the thuggy was the East Indian hoods who killed, steal, destroyed, and pillaged for the demoness, the goddess, Kali or Kalis in East India. These are the ancient spirits that they integrated into the culture of music to destroy those who would one day arise and be above all people. A spiritual war. In order for them to destroy Israel, they got to go to the deep, darkest areas of the earth where Babylon began, to resurface those same and stirring up those same old demons and aim them towards God's people, because why? They can no longer stop what's happening. They can't stop the awakening. The Most High is speaking directly to us now with no interference. We don't respect the theology of this world. We don't hear them anymore, and they have lost full control over the narrative. So they say, you know what? I know what we're going to do. Imagine what demon you have to be on you to play with cow's manure. Hold on. In celebration of a holy day to the gods. So you got to understand the psyche of a person who would normalize that type of behavior. That's now they'll put them on a plane and sit them right next to you here in the United States or any place our people are residing. It's strategic. First they did diva. Integrated that in the music, where instead of women being called what? Don't forget, all of these women in the Christian church came out, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle. They were all inspired through Christ to cultivate such a voice that you can only have coming out of slavery. And instead of these women being appreciated as God's people with the gift given through God in Christ in their worships, they were able to what? Initiate these same people into the business and call them divas. Well, we didn't know that was from East India too. And believe it or not, all of these systems of idolatry is no different. It's only, let me make it clear to you as a parabolic scenario here. We're seeing the physical dung that they throw at each other during Diwali. But we have ignored and have taken in the spiritual dung that comes from Babylon. Diva, Shiva, Kali. So what did? The Asians all got together with the Babylonians and set up shops all in the neighborhoods where it would be more it would be nothing but just straight vanity. They would sell the community to overcome the humility that usually comes with the core belief in God and Christ. Nails, hair, none of it. Everybody, you walk into the neighborhoods right now, and y'all don't know it, but the East Indians know it when they come down and sit down in our neighborhoods. They can point to a girl that's dressed and tell you what god or goddess she dressed up like based on who they worship in their homes in India. They can look at a person and say, okay, she has Khalees. That's the spirit of Khalees. They can sit back and look at a girl with blonde hair or blue hair and something, and they'll tell you the god or goddess they dressed up like today. And we just think it's normal fashion. But the East Indians and even the synagogue of Satan knows that this person is possessed with that spirit. It's a spirit. It's a familiar spirit now. And now when they set up their stores, they can continue because you got the spirit in you to lure you in through their sacrifices, through their Diwali, through their worships. You think you just want to go to the store. You don't know you're being summoned into the store. You're being called into the store through these different spirits that we've taken on. And then what happens? You do it over and over and over again, thinking it's normal, and then one day you take all the stuff off and look in the mirror, and you realize that you have totally destroyed that young innocent person who just wanted to change into a certain fashion. The hair hanging out, bald spots, and little hair hanging over here and little hair hanging over there. You're looking at yourself, and you're not even the same person anymore. You're becoming the demon. When you take it off, you start to look like the demon that possessed you. Hence the reason why they're bringing the Babylonians over here. It's a spiritual weapon. These people are heathens. They are heathens. Now, this is how they're looking to replace us on the economic level. And it's to a point where if you try to point it out or try to change it, the spirit in the person will fight against you. I need my alter ego. Why? Because, hey, you don't want to see what's under it. I have to cover myself with the alter ego now. Because now my hair is done, my face is done. Now I'm subjected to the gods. That's how they have replaced it. Folks, these devils were patient. They were patient. It took them decades to instill this in our communities. They were very patient, one demon at a time. First, we're going to do diva. After diva, we're going to do thuggy. After thuggy, Kali. What's Kali? Well, Kali is the deepest spirit, the most demonic spirit of all of Babylon. She's beautiful on the outside, hair, all of this, but she's a succubus. She's a succubus, and she lives off of the labor, then blood of men. She hates men, but yet she has all of the outward posterity, the outward image to lure men in. Then if a man want to be around her, he must work for her. He must steal for her. He must kill for her. If he die in the line of duty, what happens? They are to take off the head of the person, put it on a necklace, and she wears each man's head around her neck who've been lured into her beauty. This is why you'll have women in the neighborhood and you'll ask, well, what happened to your man? Oh, he got killed. He's in jail. Same spirit. And if you ask her why he got killed or he's in jail, it would have something to do with him trying to satisfy her wants, her desires. It's the spirit of Kali. I'm going to pull this up so they can see it. Because some of you, see, a lot of you think this is fairy tale. This is high-level demonic possession. And why am I going into this, starting with this, as I read in the Bible and go into that they tried to replace the children of Israel? Well, you can't replace the children of Israel unless you first destroy the spirit that's within the children of Israel. When we thought we were Gentiles and all that, the Jews, the Christians, they didn't think anything of it. They didn't care. It was really a soft war against us. But now, folks, they took a poll in 2019. The Jewish people took a poll with the right-wing Christians and found out that the majority of black churches throughout the United States, that the majority of the people in the black churches believe that they are the children of Israel. Even though they don't follow an Israelite doctrine, they took a poll in 2019 and realized that, guess what? The gig is up. Black people aren't identifying as Gentiles anymore. It was a poll. I showed it on the broadcast. And no sooner that poll happened and it came out that all the churches were changing, leaning towards us being Israelites, look what happened in 2020. Boop, the lights went off, shut everything down all over the world. They're like, we need to do a reset right now. And that reset was to get all the pastors who couldn't keep their congregations under control, to get all of their people in the church to take the poison pill. And the majority of churches buried the majority of the congregation that was left. And out of COVID, many churches, our churches in the community, couldn't survive through the 2-year span that they were doing that farce with. And then, what do? Somebody get the baby. Then what they do? And then when we woke up out of COVID, we looked up, and all the pastors they have in the United States now that the Jesuits are backing financially are from other countries. They're financing African pastors now. And you got to know the chaos that's going on over in Africa where they can't come together with those crazy doctrines that's mixed with voodoo and everything else. These are the pastors they're now putting over black churches as if none of us can recognize it, to thwart the awakening. Right? Let me show y'all real quick and then I'll go into it. When you look up thugging real quick, For those who don't know, the thug life didn't come from Tupac Shakur. Thuggy were the thugs from India. Right here. The thugs from India is where you get thuggy from. The thugs of India. The same cats like this on Diwali who's throwing cow excrement once a year in celebration. This is where they get the thugs from. Well, who were thuggy? Well, let's look at it. Thuggy. Thuggy was a supposed network of organized crime in the medieval postmodern centuries of gangs that traversed the Indian subcontinent, murdering and robbing people. Murdering and robbing people. Folks, that wasn't us. Don't forget, folks, we weren't the thugs. We weren't the robbers. We grew up in church growing up. When we thought of organized crime growing up, it was the Jewish mafia, the Russian mafia. It was the Italian mafia. We weren't the thugs. We were going to church. We learned about organized crime through Scarface. We were going to church. I need y'all to see how they slowly transferred their heathenistic, their satanic degradation only to deflect it onto us as if we're the criminals. Even these evil people that we see in the movies, who was making these movies, they got the whole idea of organized crime from India, who would pillage their own people, harass their own people, murder their own people. Very tribal people. Now imagine if they are like this amongst their own. Don't forget, imagine what they're going to do amongst our children. They're being weaponized. We don't even understand, we don't understand the surroundings of where these people have come from and what they had to live through to get to America. And they try to put this thing out on us like we're the thugs, folks. The whole idea of thuggy came from India, the hub of Babylon. From India all the way into Iraq was the Tower of Babel. The most ancient demons. And guess what? You got the thuggy. So the music business did all these rituals and all these others. To these spirits and begin to incorporate the spirit of these ancient demons and spirits into art form. Into art form, the music. But then you go into thuggy, and it says thuggy, the worshiping of Kali. The worshiping of Kali. Now let's unpack this for a minute. The worship of Kali or Khalees. Now when you go into Khalees or Kali, something is interesting about her, and I showed this online before for those who are out there who are watching this. Right? Because Kali is sustained through the thuggies. Now, as you can see, for those who are out there, you had Esau who went into these countries to explore the criminality within India, understanding how he can industrialize wickedness. Right? But there's one thing in particular I wanted to show you when it comes to Kali. There's a picture of her here. They may have taken her off since I've been exposing this thing for a long time. Right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see if I can do I really appreciate it, my brother. Let me show you all this here. Is it hot in here or is it me? Huh? Lord, have mercy. What they got the heat on? Hades? Oh, Lord. Oh, there she is. There she is. There she is right there. Kaylee. The demoness that they got all the women to idolize without knowing. Under her feet are men. Doesn't matter the race, black or white. Right? The thuggy would sacrifice for Kaylee. And this is what women put on. Which immediately, believe it or not, it takes away all the purity that's left from the little girls. The hair, the nails, at the expense of men who are willing to scam, steal, kill, just to have a time with her, even if the time is temporal. All that they got directly from, brothers and sisters, East India. The thuggy are the heads around the necks of Kaylee. Right? I wanted y'all to see that real quick, because guess what? Come to find out, 70% of the visas that goes out from the United States, 70%, brothers and sisters, of the visas that go out from the United States to bring in these people for free are East Indians. 70%. And don't forget, I know the majority of you who pay taxes in here. Raise your hand. Yeah. Well, it's your tax money that goes so that they can come to the United States and go to school for free. But nothing is truly for free. If it wasn't worth it when it comes to the synagogue of Satan, if it wasn't worth getting these people over to press upon us, they wouldn't spend a dime on these people. They don't truly care about these people. They're weaponizing all these people against us based on the fact that the powers that be can no longer stop the awakening. 70% of the visas, they bringing their children over here to go to school for free while telling you, you better pay your school debt. And what most are not recognizing is when we're in, or the fact that we were born in a spiritual war. The replacements are here. The replacements are here. The job market will never be the same. Now, in a way, this is a good thing. You know why? Because for years, brothers and sisters, we as a people had some level of hope that those who were controlling things had what? Had the greater good for us in mind. We thought there was at least one person up there in leadership position that was for our, that would at least argue for our turn. At one time, we believed that was so. At one time. But now they're letting you know straight out. No. We were never for your turn. And I believe that that's a good thing, because now we're going to be forced to dig deep down within ourselves with only what the Most High has given us to survive. And when that happens, brothers and sisters, a phenomenon happens on this earth. It's going to be a phenomenon. There's a lot of things we didn't tap into spiritually because we didn't have to. We were too dependent on a government that we thought was for us. And now the government is saying, listen, I don't care if you know we're trying to replace you. I don't care if you don't have work. I don't care if you don't have food. I don't care if you don't have shelter. Right? That's the world we're in now. And they're financing the people to replace us right up under our noses. We're seeing all these strange people come in with all these different gods and all these different worships, and not even realizing they're waging war against us. So it's a good thing to know, okay, the government isn't coming to save us. A matter of fact, they're going to try to take away anything we own already, which will leave God's people with no choice but to lean on Him and have it where God's people would have to lean on one another. Here's the moment we've all been waiting for. We say, well, Lord, save us, help us, but don't realize what one would need to go through to have those prayers answered. He's saving us. If He cut off every option where there's no other alternative, and then all of us at once know that we have to lean on Him, the Most High said, okay, sons and daughters, now let me pop this thing off. Let me show you I was here with you the whole time. Now through your obedience and respect of what this world is, you're now ready for me to stand before you like I stood before you all coming out of Egypt. All of us want to pray that we want to be saved, but the Most High is not going to do it the way we're thinking. We'd have to go through something. We have to go through something. We're going to have our backs against the wall, where only the Most High can show that if He wasn't there before us, none of us would have made it. That's when we're going to know that the Most High, who called us to this work, is truly the God of Israel. That's when we're going to know, okay, this is Ahia, the name that was given to Moses at the burning bush. The Most High could have easily took Israel, moved Israel from Egypt, and just placed them over Jordan into the land of Canaan. He could have did that like that. But no, what did He do? He had Israel walk around the wilderness for 40 years. Because even though the Most High did all this work, you still had those who was questioning the God who condemned Pharaoh, parted the Red Sea. You still had doubters. Man, we can go back to Egypt, man. He brought us here to die. Nah, the Most High had what? A purging in the wilderness. And he says, you know what? The children of these unbelievers, all the adults have to die off so that the children can go over into the wilderness. And the only two original people that came out of Egypt that crossed over as adults was Joshua and Caleb. And I like to think about this ministry, full circle, traveling all the way into Egypt and all around, with no thoughts. Believe it or not, folks, we had no thoughts of having an institution or church. Our thoughts were to travel, go to where we need to go, and be ready for when Christ returns. But through the Holy Spirit, the Word drew so many people into the knowledge at one time. And as a result of it, we said, you know what? We have to come back and organize. Don't forget, brothers and sisters, when I walked out of the United States, I had no thought of ever coming back here. But the Most High brought it around full circle to why he had us do what we did from the beginning. It's no different than us walking through that wilderness again, and the Most High is doing the purging. And those that will endure until the end of this can make it through, will make it through. The Most High have us here not just as here for a word of encouragement. Because yes, it is encouraging, it is inspiring to hear the work, to hear how the Most High have done what he've done in this work. But it's more than just that, folks, than just us here with the word. We're here with the understanding of prophecy to say, listen, everything that's going on in the earth right now, the Most High had us teaching where we didn't have to modify anything. And now we're living in the times the Most High showed us before the internet blew up like this, before there was a YouTube. So now it's coming around full circle. Well, the Most High showed us this in the early 2000s, and now we're here in so-called 25, to help our people get through Jacob's trouble. And I'm not talking about the trouble that's coming. The trouble is here. The whole thing was set for when they came out of COVID. They would have an entirely new world system in place that would begin to come after our people all at once. So it's upon us, brothers and sisters, to come together in the Spirit. Anything, any negatives, anything that's stopping us from being who we are in this work, in this church, that's prohibiting us coming together like we originally thought we should have come together. It's time. The Most High is pushing us together. The replacements are here, and these people are insane that they're bringing over. It's intentional. Thuggy. Guys have a holiday, Diwali, where they throw dung at each other, and now they're going to put them on a plane and put them next door to you and your family. Understand what we're up against, folks. The replacements. Who's going to come here and work a job that you probably would have been having 6 figures on, and now, guess what? Or 50, 60,000, and they're going to come to work that job for $15,000 and $20,000, living in a socialized house paid by the government. And I'm not telling you what's going to happen. I'm telling you what I know. This is what they're doing. They don't want any financial upward mobility for God's people, because they know that now we're not going to use the money strictly for their economy. We're going to use any resource we have in preparation to help God's people. I need y'all to think about this, folks. Something is going on that's a lot different, that I can attest to, that only the Most High, if the Most High must be working within his work. Folks, I remember over in England, 20, what they call that? Pounds, 20 pounds to get dinner for that week. Every week I would teach, and we would pass the plate around, and I wouldn't ask for anything. They would just pass it around, and I would get 20 pounds, British pounds, and I would thank the Most High for it. We would eat. We would go back. I'll buy chicken, get some potatoes to go with it, onions. I would get some nachos. I'll do anything I can to make things spread. 20 British pounds. I know the Most High is working. This is why they don't want us to have any level of resources. To know we done went from that, and we come around full circle, and I go on a broadcast and say, hey, our brothers and sisters have been hit in Jamaica. The Benjamites have been hit in Jamaica. I'm going to show you the power of our people. How I know the Most High is doing something great. I knew I only had 20 pounds. I know I had nothing. But I had the courage to go out against all odds with nothing to teach the Most High's word. Come around full circle and say, hey, we got a brother, Ayash, a great singer, where his house was totally decimated, the whole community was decimated, and we get online and say, brothers and sisters, the people are suffering over in Jamaica. And out of nowhere, within a couple of days, we look up, and I think, okay, if we got $5,000 and I put a little bit of money to it, we can do something. We looked up, and it was over $30,000 in a couple of days. Man, you think the nations don't see that? You think the other people don't see this? Like, well, hold up. If we allow these people to continue in the jobs they were having and pull their resources, they'll use their resources against our kingdom. If they can just come together in a couple of minutes, not having nothing, to help our people in disaster, that's the spirit that's going to pull us together at the very end. And they know this. So this is also a testimony or something. It's also a confirmation continually. Not that I need it. Knowing where this ministry began and where we are, that at a drop of a dime, we can say, hey, we need something. And all the world pull together to help our people. When it can be any individual in here who could have been under those same circumstances, to know at a drop of a dime that the world will pull for you who's in the truth. The whole world is behind you for those who have found the truth. That's power. That's power, folks, and they see the power. That's power. And guess what? That 20 British pounds we had over in England, to me, it's no different. Because I'm doing the same thing I was doing back then. Bringing our people together, knowing what's about to come down. It's real. This is why they want to replace us. This is why, let me tell you. And this is why there's so many haters. I'm going to tell you. People wonder why I don't respond to all this crap. I say it over and over again. I don't respond to low levels because I've seen through the work what this ministry is. And I understand, and I have no fear as this whole thing goes down, knowing that the Most High have always been with this church and have guided us through most situations. People would have totally been shook, faced with the same circumstances. That's why when I see people talking online, I'm like, okay, all right, that's what they do. But where's your works that's transferring to the real world, to the real in the real world when it comes to the works in Christ? Right? You show me your faith, or you show me your talk. But your faith have to transfer to real works to help other people. They tried to replace our people. Psalms 83, let's go there. And brothers and sisters, this is how important each and every individual is. Individual are in this church or throughout the world, now that we've come to the knowledge of who we are. Right? Let's go there real quick. They tried to replace the true Israelites. Right? Elder Lawya, let's go to Psalms 83.
Yes, sir.
Let's read it.
Psalms 83, verse 1.
One second, Elder Lawya. Psalms 83, let me get it here. Psalms 83, verse 1. Let's read it.
Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that hate thee have lifted up the head. Do me a favor, someone turn down Lawya's mic if you don't mind. You know, he got that Barry White thing going on. I'm sitting there shaking in my chair. Lord have mercy. Give him some mids and highs. Put the Michael Jackson effect on Lawya's microphone. It's like, Lord, it feel like ready to go to war when this guy start reading. Right? Let's try this once more again. One more again, young man.
Yes, sir. For the top.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They that, I said cut down Lawya's mic, not mine. Lord have mercy. Man, who's the engineer around here? I said, Lord, look, they put the Michael Jackson effect on mine. Testing 1, 2. Lift me up. Lift me up. Oh, I know what I'll do. There you go. There it is. Say something, Lawya.
All right. Mic check 1, 2, testing, testing, mic check 1, 2.
There it is. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Verse number 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have consulted against thy hidden ones. They built this whole economy since the time we were in captivity. They built the whole structure on keeping us under control, keeping us at the bottom. Keeping us at the bottom. Read on.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. So let's go into it, because when you go into it, it breaks down that they are confederate. A satanic confederate against God's people. Read 83 and 5.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against us, spiritually. As long as we're down with their false ideologies and programs, yes, they'll throw us a few trinkets. They'll give us a few gifts. As long as we go along with their false ideologies. Right? But as soon as they found out God's people all together and the black churches figured out we were Israelites, they say, you know what? Let's turn the lights out. And when we turn the lights back on, the church is going to be entirely different. We're going to have African preachers who are going to just appreciate them having a place over here in the United States. They got black preachers here in Atlanta talking about the Jews always been white. What are y'all talking about? And the guy from Africa. You know why? Because he appreciates the opportunity given him in America. And he's willing to sell his whole. I'm like, listen, it's too late in the game for somebody to try to claim that Christ was a white man. He must have just got off the boat. Okay? But he's not doing that because he believed that. He's doing that to show a public allegiance to those who've allowed him opportunity as a taskmaster over our people. There are confederate against thee, read.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom. And yes, Edom is the Romans. They are the Romans. The Romans still exist till this day. Okay? And what?
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites. And in the academy, I'm going to make sure next academy I'm going into Ishmael, our silent enemy. Our silent enemy. He always works and play us close, but he's really doing the bid of Esau, the government. He'll play us close. That's why they strategically place these people at 7-Elevens and different stores around our area. A lot of people, when you think of the CIA, you think of some elaborate technology rooms with TVs all around the place. No. CIA is Central Intelligence. No matter where they get intelligence from, it's part of their intelligence. And a lot of these people, when the government comes into our neighborhoods and all that, they go straight to these Arabs and ask them what's going on around here and make a report. And it goes right up the chain. That's Central Intelligence. The Arabs, not all Arabs, but Ishmael in particular. Read.
Of Moab and the Hagari.
They said, let us cut them off from being a nation. So how do you cut one off from being a nation? Let's show some examples based on history. Elder Lawya, let's go to Exodus 1 and 10. How do you cut a people off from being a nation? Now, here's the legislation they've always implemented throughout history. Come and let him cut them off from being a nation. So how do you go about cutting the people off from being a nation? Well, you look at all the families written of in the book of Psalms, and then you go into all the nations and see, okay, how have they conspired? What does that mean, cut them off from being a nation? Now we go into history a little bit. Now this legislation would be in all the confederacies over the earth while God's people is in captivity or in servitude. Go to Exodus 1 and 10.
Yes, sir. Exodus 1 and 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
Let's get them out of places of influence. Let's get them out of political power. See, we were what? We were the high magistrates in Egypt after the time of the famine, where now the 12 sons of Jacob was ruling from Upper Egypt. So let's get them out of places that dictate policy. Huh? Now I need y'all to check this out. Who was the last mayor of New York? Anybody know? No, I'm talking about the brother. Huh? One person.
Come on, Mayor Adams.
Mayor Adams. Get them out of the land. Who's the mayor of New York? Mondane. So first of all, you have to get them out of places of political influence, because they'll do what? They'll fight for policies that benefits their people. See that? This is why instead of getting a brother who went through chattel slavery to be the president of the United States, they got a foreigner from Kenya who was raised in Indonesia. So when it says that they are confederate against us, part of that confederacy is crafty counsel. Make sure they're not in position to help their people. And if you look at any politician in the United States that looks like us, they're from someplace else. They weren't born on the soil, folks. And that's intentional. It is intentional, folks. The mayor of Philadelphia, Milton, it was Milton Street and John Street. Milton was city council. John Street was a mayor when I was growing up in Philadelphia. When I was speaking on the streets, he was mayor. Don't y'all know, brothers and sisters, that the mayor of Philadelphia was raised and had family a half a block from where I lived. He was the mayor. Where we could go knock on a door, we would play ball and play stuff with his son. So it was important that that mayor would do what he needed to do for our people, because guess what? You had to deal with us real time. We weren't up the street from you. So you wasn't going to become mayor and do something else for some other people. And I seen where these cats would shut things down and argue with the Jews and all that to make sure our people had what they needed, because they had a personal interest being from where we came from. So one part of this, the Confederacy, is to say, you know what? Let's deal wisely with them. That means deal it with deceit. Let's give them false representation to make them think they're being represented. but move any people that have the interest of God's people out of positions of influence. Right? That's one way they have done it, or tried to replace us. You think they wanted to do right by us in civil rights? No, they had to. Because we held all the cards, politically and otherwise. We were the labor force. See, we had leverage. Oh, you don't want to do right by us? Guess what? We've always been the only laborers that had this country go for almost nothing. We'll shut the country down by not working. Esau looked at that and like, okay. We can't have such a great people with that much leverage. Let's start bringing in the others. Right? That's one way. Another way. So that's the Egyptian model. Let's deal slick with them politically by not having them have any representation. Like you got the guy in Chicago who's stomping hard for the replacements to come over there against our people in Chicago. See? War. This is how they're trying to replace Israel during the time of the awakening, making sure that there's no resources to help our people at the very end. Right? Elder Lawya, let's go to Ezra. Let's go to the book of Ezra. The book of Ezra. And the 3rd chapter. Esther. Esther, the 3rd chapter, with Haman, the Edomite, the Agagite. So you put all these together to understand how the Confederacy against us shaped policy to replace us. Right? Haman, the Agagite. Let's start, Elder Lawya, with the 9th verse. Here's the Confederacy. This is how they think. Here's their plan. Read.
Yes, sir. The book of Esther, chapter 3, verse number 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have charge of the business, to bring it unto the king's treasuries.
So he said, listen, pay me, and we'll conspire, we'll come up with plans to kill God's people in the community, in Persia. It was an Edomite. Now, why did he conspire against us? Well, Elder Lawya, let's start at the 6th verse.
Verse 6. And they thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai, wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai.
Because Mordecai didn't want to bow to the gods of Persia. It was like, you got some Jews here who's living under a different set of laws that are seeking to follow God outside of the king's laws. This is what happens when our people began to walk away from pagan Christianity, pagan Islam. You think they're not discussing that amongst themselves in High Council, City Hall, and all these people have made oaths and pledges? So they say we have to deal wisely with them, because if these people grow in number, they will eventually do what? Affect the politics of the land. Read. Let's go down to the 9th verse.
Verse 9. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed, and I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have charge of the business, to bring it into the king's treasuries.
And what did they do? Eventually what they did was they had a census to number all the children of Israel in Iran and Persia, to come up with a conspiracy or a plan to get rid of all of God's people. Folks, I need y'all to check this out. Check out how they was pushing the census in 2019. And check out who they were trying to force the shot on in 2020 and 2021. If you read the Bible, you can see they're just rolling out the same old games, the Confederacy, the conspiracies they've always had against our people throughout time. Same thing. And that's why I don't trust anything they say. Anything. And I'm looking at our people. They're walking around all silent as if they weren't conspirators pushing this garbage on their own people. Their families are dropping like flies all over the place, and people are sitting there silent as if they don't know that is a possibility what they were pushing for the government. They know it's a possibility that these young kids that are dying, that them pushing this stuff led to their own demise. I'm going to tell you. And people are totally silent because they know now. They know what it was now. But no one is going to listen in the midst of the crisis when they're getting warned. Now you can read the Bible and see what the prophets were dealing with. We're telling you, don't listen to these people. They're planning your demise. What do you know? You didn't go to school. Da, 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 da. I'm like, listen. I did go to school. The Bible. I've read how they've dealt with us, how Pharaoh dealt with us, how the Agagite dealt with us and conspired against us. I've read it. It's the same script. Believe me, if there was something that was good for our people, no way in the world they would say we should get it first. That's common sense. When have they put us in the front of the line for anything that was good for us? Elder Lawya, let's go now to Proverbs 1 and 12. Proverbs 1 and 12.
Yes, sir. Proverbs 1, verse 12.
And this is their plan.
Let us swallow them up alive as the grave.
Let us swallow them up live as the grave. Let's plan their deaths. Read that once more, Proverbs 1 and 12.
Yes, sir. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit.
As those that go down to the pit. Let's plan their death. Here it is. You go into a hospital and they say, yeah, we have this new drug we're testing, and we hear it's good. Remdesivir. And we sit there looking at it like, what's this? Well, we got this new breakdown. Then it come out a couple of months ago that this stuff is used. It breaks down the organs and all of that, and eventually you're out of here. Was the key treatment they were doing during that time. At the same time, they were telling us to separate from our families. Us believing that it was a sickness getting rid of our families. Let us plan for them to go down to the pit. Let's come up with a plan so cold, so thought out. You know, they thought about everything. Well, you know, family members are going to have to come and visit their family. Surely they'll know what we're doing. Families are going to come. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll let them know it's social distancing. And that we're trying to save them because we have to quarantine them away from everyone else. And that's where we can do what we do without them knowing. And we'll just have the nurses tell them, oh, everything is fine. Today, they really showed forth promise. They ate today. They're doing good. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave and the hole, and that those that go down into the pit. Here's an opportunity. Let's get rid of as many of them as we can. The conspiracy, how they sought to replace us. They had to make room. In order to make room, they had to sell everyone a big lie. And anyone who followed this church, we were consistent. Everything that came from me, when y'all see me one night or on the Sabbath, somewhere you come and look at our videos, you see that this church was consistent on what to do and how to get through things. And that's how you know when something is heaven sent. And I'm speaking of the ministry in of itself. You know it through a crisis. And folks, while I was managing through the Spirit of the Most High, the whole world that was going through a thing of uncertainty, because we don't just have churches here. I'm dealing with all types of undermining and all types of stuff that's trying to tear the church from the inside out. And still I have to keep everything afloat. Fighting every battle to get our people through this. Even the battles where people were trying to attack the church from the inside. Through a crisis. Like Satan was like, well, okay. He's wary, and I know that he's definitely not going to get through this one. You got people dying over here, people calling over here. You got Elder Fresnel call and say, hey, Elder Fresnel's wife saying, I don't know if he's going to make it. I said, sister, calm down. What is his symptoms? She tell me his symptoms. I'm like, man, it sounds like this guy's having an asthma attack. How would I know that? Because I grew up with asthma. As if the Most High had me go through asthma for that moment. I said, sister, is there anyone in the church? Because they was about to take him to get quarantined. Is there anyone in the church with albuterol and a machine for asthma? A breathing machine. She called around and says, yeah, Elder. And I'm like, go get it. The sister brought her child's albuterol and gave that brother, that elder, treatment. 4 treatments, he was fine and was able to teach the church next Sabbath. He says, Elder, if I'd have been in there, I would have been quarantined. And at that time, people were checking in and not checking out. Then there was another brother. After I helped him, he was lured into the hospital and called Fresnel weeks later and said, hey, they told me if I don't take this shot, that I'm going to die. I'm like, brother, didn't you just walk into the hospital? You fine. I'm like, why did you go there? And I told Fresnel, this brother, he seems like he's a little nervous here. Tell him to go home. He's nervous. The brother didn't listen. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call. Gone. Organs, gone. And in the midst of all this, I'm dealing with all types of stuff all over the world and internal. issues. And having to deal with what was going on with my mother and everything, and the Most High was like, you better stay studying. Getting undermined with people who know what I'm going through. And the Most High was like, stay studying. Stay studying. You're going to learn something through this. And I stayed studying. Every crisis that comes through those doors is going to be the same way. Where not only when they have these big shakings and dynamics and change like COVID happened, it's not just a shaking for the world. It's a shaking on the church. It's a test. It's a testament of your faith. We claim we have. But now the Most High is putting you through the test. That's how we make it from one side to the next, folks. When you look at us coming out of Egypt, it was one crisis after the next. People complaining, people upset, people dying. The elders were set up under Moses to deal with issues, family issues, people arguing, people dealing with issues. Now here it is, Moses' sister talking about you shouldn't be in that relationship. All this stuff. And the Most High was like, man, you better stay focused. Why? Because let me tell you, if you get caught up into all of the moving parts, you'll be moved with it. Who's going to stand? If you're moved with it, because what's being moved cannot sustain. Anyone that's moved, or you've ever seen moved from this work, where are they work? Where are their works? When the storm settles, what are they doing? They were moved in the midst of the spirit that was snatching souls. That's what's going to get us through. To not get caught up in the moment, but stand on the foundation which is Christ. That's how we get through. We are walking. We don't understand the lot we pull with baptism and the choices that we would have to make because of the choice we made to say, you know what? I'm standing on this path for Christ. Well, we're going to walk this path, and Christ is walking this path as a sacrifice. Think about it. He had to walk this path. Lied on. While he's walking, they call him sorcerer, evildoer, slapping him in the face, spitting on him, lying all the way. He's just still on that road. Knocked him down, buried his cross. Everybody there is trying to stop him from getting to that finish line. And all those spirits are demons that are jumping in people to try to stop him from getting there. Because once he gets there, it's victory that can free all of us. So in the midst of crisis, you have to realize, brothers and sisters, we're on that same road. I hear all the crap and all the people say, I'm like, listen, y'all can listen to the stuff if y'all can deal with all that garbage if you want. You're going to get caught up all in the fringes and not realize that you're off the path. Because when all this stuff shuts down, who's going to be there to help guide us through? Who's going to be in the mind to be in the right place, to get through? That's what this path is. Elder Lawya, let's get Jeremiah 11 and 19. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. The book of Jeremiah 11, verse number 19.
Let me grab it here. Let's read it.
But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter, and I knew not that they had devised devices against me.
We're walking through this earth like lambs and oxes that is brought to the slaughter, and have no idea that they have conspired devices to keep us destroyed, to kill us, to trap us into imprisonment, to make sure that none of us as a young man go through life without some type of scar against us when it comes to legalities, or some type of persecution or prosecution on us, or felony, or some type of crime. We don't even know this. The whole system is set up so that every one of our young men go through life and have to go through at least one felony or something. We don't even know that devices are against us in this awakening. Read.
Saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living.
We don't even know that the world powers, this is their plans against us. Even Jeremiah says, but I was like a lamb and an ox that is brought to the slaughter. And I didn't even know that they had devised devices against me. They have set traps that I didn't even know existed, Jeremiah is saying. The crafty counsel. Read.
Saying, let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be no more remembered.
That his name be no more remembered. His name, same way. Let's cut them off from being a nation so that what? The name of Israel be no more in remembrance. This is what? What I'm showing you is the nucleus. The nucleus is the nucleus of the world policies to keep us underfoot. Jeremiah 31 and 36.
Jeremiah 31, verse 36.
But why am I going here? The only reason the enemy cannot accomplish what they would like to accomplish is through the Most High's grace. If it wasn't for the Most High's grace, none of us would survive. There's a number of people who's a remnant in God's kingdom, in this earth, who the Most High is saying, guess what? Hands off. You cannot touch my anointed. You cannot touch them. But sin gives them entry, give them clearance to do what they want to do against us. But I'm going to tell you now, if it wasn't for Christ's grace, if it wasn't for the Most High saying that a remnant must be saved through this, none of us would survive their conspiracies. None of us. Because why? There is rules for engagement. There's things they can't do but by permission. And that's including the replacements. Right? Let's read Jeremiah 31 and 36.
Yes, sir. Jeremiah 31, verse 36.
Yes.
If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever.
It's only one way the Most High would actually do away with his people altogether. If there's no sun and moon, if there's no clouds, if there's no stars in the sky, we wake up one day and there's no stars. There's no moon, there's no sun. That's the only way. That's the agreement. If those ordinances depart from me, which is what? The stars, sun, moon, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Which proves what? The nation of Israel must be here. Physically. If there's still stars, moon, and sun. 37.
Thus saith the Lord, if heaven can be measured.
If heaven can be measured, I'm going to show you how crazy these people are. They then came up with the technology, the Hubble telescope, and even greater technology than that, to measure out there to tempt God. That's how what? That's how passionate they are in their religion, with their efforts to get rid of Israel. They read the scrolls and it said, and their sorcerers have told them, hey, if you measure the heavens, this God of Israel is bound by his word. Measure the heavens and then he will allow you to get rid of them. So they got the technology out there claiming they're going to Mars, when really this is what they're trying to do. If they measure the heavens, read.
And the foundations of the earth searched out beneath.
And that's why they'll what? They'll risk their own lives going into the bottom of the sea. Who would try to make a construct or a submarine that can sit at the bottom of the sea where the pressure can crush you like nothing? Who would even dare go down there? Why would they go down there? The agreement. God's word. He's bound by his word. If they can measure the sea in the sky, then this oath comes into play. Then they believe that the Most High will give them clearance to destroy us altogether. Okay? That's how mad and crazy these people are. And this is why I say you can't trust anything they tell you. They'll risk their own lives and all of that just so that they can get clearance to get rid of God's people. If heaven can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast out the seed of Israel for all they have done, saith the Lord. Why? Now, why is the Most High saying this? Satan, before Christ went up to the throne, Satan would continually go before the throne every sundown and accuse us before the Father. How can you call these people your chosen people? They're worshiping me down there. They're worshiping Baal down there. He would do this before the throne of God. How can you just have these people as your chosen? They're not worthy. Even the Gentiles worship me more passionate with greater reverence than your own people. Imagine this worm up there saying that to God. The Gentiles serve me better than your own people. And the Most High says, okay, you measure the heavens, measure the sea, and at that time, I'll do away with them. See if you can do that. Get busy. Get busy. So they know what the scriptures say, and the Most High is bound by their word. So with each generation, they come up with the technology to go further into space or deep in the earth so that they can now, what? Get rid of God's people down here. And obviously, it's a fool's errand. Why? We're teaching today, and the sun is out. It's a fool's errand. Let's go to Matthew, the 27th chapter. Let's go to Christ now. Matthew 27. And let's start at about, 62.
Yes, sir. The book of St. Matthew 27 and 62.
Why am I going here? Because here's an example of what Israel is going through now. God's people. When we look at Christ, he had to what? He had to deal with all the accusations and attacks against him. But still, at the same time, he had to die for even those enemies who hated him. That's a level of forgiveness. And I know how hard that is. But you know what? When you're able to achieve that level, brothers and sisters, it's so satisfying. When you can say in your heart that a person you would never forgive under other circumstances, that you know that, okay, I have nothing wrong in my heart against these people. It's rewarding in the spirit. It's so rewarding. Because you're not carrying the darkness that came with that moment. They have to live with what they've done. And when you look what Christ did, he gave an example. And he went through all of this. He was thrown in prison. He was lied upon. The people chose a straight tyrant. Give us Barabbas over the Son of God. For him only to be locked, what? In a sepulcher, a grave, for 3 days and for 3 nights, only to come out glorious. Folks, that's not just Christ's story. That's our story. Since we've lost Jerusalem, it's like we've been stuck in a grave for 3 days and 3 nights. Only at the end of it to come out glorious. And I'm putting this out there, folks, because no matter what we go through, and we're going to go through some tough times coming, keep your eyes on the end of this. Not in the current moment, because what? The current moment is going to pass. But will you still be standing after that moment? I learned a lot going through that last crisis. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Listen, I learned a lot. And I'm like, okay, this is how it's done. This is how we get to the wilderness. I thought I was ready when we left out years ago and went overseas, but that was to set up for what's about to happen. Refuge. We develop relationships. We set up churches. So when someone is persecuted in one city, boom, you can go over here. Never get caught up in the moment. When anyone bring me a crisis, or when they bring me something on the surface, I never see it as presented. No matter how grave a sin may be, no matter how dark or crazy something might be, I never examine anything on the surface. Everything has a spirit behind it. I need to know the whole thing, so that we don't just get something off of the surface, but yet the spirit that lies dormant, that destroys it, still survives. So understand, when it comes to this life, The same way it is, everything, you got to see the end of all turmoil, like Christ did, walking, bearing his cross. He wasn't caught up into what all the evil people were saying about him and them hitting him and this, that, and the other. He had to bear that cross all the way there, get nailed on it, knowing that he would be glorious at the end of it, and without that, none of us would be saved. Now, you know me, and you know you too. You did nothing wrong. It's enough you got to go get crucified, and someone is sitting there kicking you in your shin. You're going to, hold up, you're going to put the cross down, and you're going to start, you're going to be, you're going to be squabbling. Like, listen, we're going to squabble right now. All of us going to be like, listen, I'm dealing with this, but me and you, we got to get, but Christ, nah. So we look at every little thing and think everything have to be a squabble. No. No. I see the end of this. Right? So Christ is giving the example of how we in Christ must persevere through this. Elder Lawya, let's go to Matthew 27. We're going to read 62 to the end. Because here's an example of us. Right? 62, verse 66. 27, 62. Let's read that, yeah.
Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that the deceiver said while he was yet alive.
Remember that deceiver said while he was yet alive. They still throwing dirt on Christ's name. Pharisees, we know the modern day Pharisees are over jewelry today. Judaism is the modern day Pharisee. Remember that deceiver said while he was yet alive, read.
After 3 days I will rise again.
Read.
Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the third day.
Make sure that that grave is stopped up and that it's sure or fastened until the third day. Read.
Lest his disciples come by night and steal him away and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead, so the last error shall be worse than the first.
Read.
Pilate said unto them, Ye have a watch, go your way, make it as sure as ye can. Man,
they made sure that that sepulchre was locked down, was fast and more secure than any other grave before it, when you go into the history of this. There's no way, even if the disciples wanted to, they would be able to move these rocks. So they went.
So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch.
And they put guards in front. And out of nowhere, they came back. A sleep fell upon the watchers, and guess what? They woke up, he was gone. What does that represent for us? Elder Lawya, let's go to Hosea 6. Let's go to Hosea 6. Let me grab it here. What does that mean for us, God's people? Hosea 6, verse 1.
Hosea 6 and 1. Come, and let us return unto the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us.
He hath torn, and he will heal us. Read.
He hath smitten, and he will bind us up.
Read.
After 2 days will he revive us.
After 2 days will he revive us. We're living in the awakening. We are the prophecy that's getting read here. It's us coming from the grave, folks. We are the prophecy. Us sitting here today amongst each other. It was the reason for Christ's sacrifice, to allow us to stand as God's people again one day. He's seen us here, staking claim to the name of Israel. After 2 days, he will revive us. Read.
And the third day, he will raise us up.
He will raise us up. That's right. The rock has been removed. We've been revived. The Most High has given us our name back. Our children won't have to suffer through the ignorance we had to go through to find this truth. Living miracles that we can never take for granted what this truth is and what Christ has done for us. And the third day he will raise us up, read.
And we shall live in his sight.
And we shall live in his sight. We are the valley of the dry bones awakened. And should never lose sight of that gift and not appreciate that gift. It's no time to be out there without the knowledge of what's about to go down in this earth. This is what it truly means to be chosen. Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Yeah, they tried to replace us, but you know what? A remnant will stand as God's people. A people they can't replace. Deuteronomy 7 and 6, read that.
Deuteronomy 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
That's you. Above all people, against all odds. They've been conspiring to destroy us. They've been conspiring to keep this knowledge from us. And the Most High have broken through with this prophecy and have raised Israel to live in Christ's sight in the third day. That's you, the chosen people, the peculiar people. Take sight of it, own it, walk in it. 7.
Verse 7, the Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were fewest of all people.
Because you are fewest above all people. So guess what? I don't trip out when I go into a church and don't see the numbers of a mega church. Because the Most High didn't choose us because of the number of people who, that's in a room. He, because everybody is at the party. He chose us because we're the fewest. Broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. So when I see smaller numbers, guess what? I'm like, that's nice. I'm going to tell you why. Those are they who persevered, who are serious, who would weather the storm regardless. Those are the true leaders. Numbers, even though it amazes me sometimes when I see it all come together at the Passover, to see what the Most High have done. You know what I mean? I look at it and be like, this is well beyond anything I ever thought would happen. But I know, guess what? It's not about the numbers. Everything we see that's all over the earth right now, folks, that's in the earth right now. Let me tell you, it started off with me and one other guy on a corner with the faith of the Almighty, with the truth of what's going to happen in this earth. Everything you see right now in the earth that's real time with the technology, where the technology wasn't even invented at that time, we were talking about. And now we're living through it. So it's not about the number, because the Most High can do this with just 2 men. It's his power. It's his spirit that goes out. It's not about the number of people. It's about the faith of the few who's willing to stand for God's people and be utilized by him. I'd rather have a small number to manage, because guess what? It's more comfortable, and it can be more personable, where you can put more time into people and bring that thing together to lead many. That's what it's about. And I'm encouraged when I came here and I seen the brothers and sisters from Boston, the brothers and sisters from Connecticut. And I know what y'all had to endure through. But you're still here. It means so much. And guess what? You all are going to thank the Most High that you weathered the storm. I'm going to tell you. Y'all going to thank the Most High that y'all made it through this. Because when it's said and done, we're looking at the leaders. And it's going to be too many people to manage that you all will have to lead. I'm telling you now. But at least we know who can persevere through crisis. That's you. Unwavering. Unwavering. A people who refuse to give up. Who continue to go to Sabbaths and serve the Almighty. Folks, you think I didn't have reason while I was dealing with this work many days to say, you know what? There's enough excuses for me to say, you know what? Man, let me go about doing something else. But do what? What's the option? America is done. This world is finished. Do what? Get jacked up like Jonah, only to be spit back on the shores of Nineveh? Do what? I have to be patient. I have to get through moments that would stress me beyond measure. And then when I wake up the next day, I'm like, okay, that wasn't that bad. Now what you have for me, Lord? We have to get from one day to the next, persevere, sustain until the end. Because, and this is what I said it a couple of weeks ago at the church. Excuses only works for men. When I was in Philly, I said it. Excuses only works for men. On that day when we're standing before the Most High, and we will be standing before him, every individual, what excuse can I give him for walking away? What excuse can I tell him? Well, the people did this, Lord, and because they did this, and I found out somebody was sinning, and I found out he did that, and I was just overwhelmed. Oh, Lord, maybe I went through a midlife crisis. what can we tell him? You know what we can say? We can endure unto the end. And with all of our righteousness, we'll still barely make it in. See, we can give excuse to men to why we put down the plow, that we refuse to work. But how are you going to explain that to Christ, who took his cross all the way? Regardless of the negative, regardless of the accusations. And he did it because he had to. Without him doing this, we wouldn't be here. Romans 11. Have God cast away his people? Because we got some other people over there claiming to be the people who are not the people. Romans 11:1. Let's read it.
Romans 11:1.
I say then,
have God cast away his people?
Have God cast away his people? Did God cast away the children of Israel who went into captivity, according to Deuteronomy 28, to get another people called Jewish people, serving under the religion of Judaism? Have God cast away our people?
God forbid.
No, and that's New Testament. Read.
For I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
The same way we appear. We are also Israelites here, of the seed of Abraham, but we so happen to be from the tribe of Judah. Because we had people back there at Paul's time telling everyone that God's people doesn't matter anymore. God, read.
God hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew. Wot ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life.
So here it is. He says, listen, God hath not done away with his people, which he foreknew. Going back to the original premise where every time it comes out that our people are the chosen people, you got Christians saying it doesn't matter. But yet they'll state claim and try to confirm or agree to Jewish people who are white people, Romans, over in Israel today as God's people. That's backward. That's hypocrisy. How is it? It's one answer to our people being Israelites, which is resistance, and it's another answer to them by agreeing that these people should be there based on them being God's chosen people. God have not done away with the children of Israel. We are here. How do we come closer to him? Let's end it here, Elder Lawya. Let's go to 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles. The people over there in the Middle East right now, they are Edomites and Ishmaelites. That's who they are. Second Chronicles, we're going to end it here, and then we'll open it up for questions in a moment. 2 Chronicles 7, verse. Let's start at 13. Give us some insight of how we get through this together as a people, in prayer and in thought. Through prayer and in thought, we'll never forget what was shown to the prophets, starting at, Elder, the 13th verse.
Yes, sir. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among the people.
The Most High says if he send disasters, crisis. Read.
If my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves.
If we humble ourselves when the Most High brings storms, when he bring disasters, when he bring crisis, and not focus on what the government is saying or what they're talking about, but what God is saying or how he's speaking through the crisis should be the focus. If my people which are called by my name humble themselves, read,
and pray,
and do what?
And seek my face,
and seek the Most High's face, read,
and turn from their wicked ways,
and follow God's law, knowing that he's sending a warning. If we live through the warning, we were given what? We've been given grace through the warning because we're still living. And the Most High is saying, it could have been you. So I love you enough to give you space to repent. That means he's not finished with us, even if we've sinned. Even if we aren't perfect, even if we could have been doing things better, he can still utilize us. So when he sends a locust or a crisis, these are modern day crises, like we've seen the brother Rawchaa place and where he is over there in St. Elizabeth in Jamaica, and it destroyed all their homes. But yet he come out of the ashes saying, I'm here. I could have left you, but I didn't want to leave my family and stuff because they seek to me as a spiritual leader here. And he stayed there without internet. He stayed there without electricity, to be there in the mud with his people. Even though we sent people to bring him out, being a part of the church, he says, no, this is my family. You bring the help to me. Let me tell you, folks, when we see something like that, but still see our brother and the people there spared, that's the Most High saying what? Humble yourselves. Seek my face. Go back to where you were with the first love you had for me when I delivered the truth to you. Get back to where you were when you feared me and loved me. And show that you fear me and love me by how you treat my people, how you love my people. Turn from their wicked ways, read,
and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven.
Then will I hear from heaven. Christ hear our prayers. Read.
And will forgive their sins.
And will forgive their sins.
And will heal their land.
And will heal their land. 15.
Now mine eyes shall be opened, and mine ears attent unto thy prayer that is made in this place.
He says, now mine eyes shall be open, and my ears shall be attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. If we keep our focus amongst the saints, and we do what's right and humble ourselves, come to Sabbath, grow the work of Christ, put our hand to the plow, I guarantee, brothers and sisters, you will not regret it. You'll see Christ's work through your hands. You'll see it manifest to help others on the outside of here grow in the spirit of the Almighty. There's a reason why a lot of these places were attacked and the spirit was attacked and it became stagnant and all of that. But now we're going to move this forward in the spirit of the Almighty to finish before the next crisis hit. I'm going through all the churches right now because I know between 2026 and 2027, it's going to get real. The stage has been set, which is at the beginning of this serious trouble that's coming here. Next week, I think I'm in California, right? We're in California next week. And then from California, the next weekend will be in Detroit.
Yes, sir.
Where Detroit and Canada comes together. We're going to each of the churches and bringing things together so that we can understand who's who to help each other get through what's about to happen. And in the midst of all this, when it all goes down, y'all gonna thank the Most High that you persevered through the storm, that you're here. You're gonna thank the Most High for it. Everyone will have a work. We're not here just to sit here, which is all good, and do Sabbath. You have to feel that you're contributing to God's kingdom and bringing something that can help the people, because what better people to actually come up with ministries and plans to help the people than those who came out from amongst the people. So I need you all to think about the gift that you can bring and how you would like to help our brothers and sisters on the outside of here. And let's make those ministries while there's still time. With that, I'm Elder Rawchaa. Thank you, and we're going to open it up for questions. Whoever want to have any questions, you can come on up. The microphone is right there. We'll be more than happy to answer those. Elder Lawya, hold that, because restroom. I'll be right back. Elder Lawya can answer until I get back.
Okay, the floor is open if anyone has any questions. If not, we'll transition to the other phase of this. All right, going once, going twice, no questions?
Don't be shy. No question?
Okay.
You got a question?
All right, still getting it together, or you good?
There was a question regarding the women leaders that are.
You said the women leaders. Who are that?
Yes. You had said that you mentioned it very early in the beginning of your talk, and I had a question.
Okay, get the widows and
Yes, sir.
Timothy. About the
The women's program.
yeah, Where are you at? Where you at? You can stand up so I can see you. Okay, when I was saying that that the people who stayed, that they here to lead, and what that looks like. When I said the women, the men and women that are here, the men and women that are here to lead, and what do they look like? You want to know, what does that consist of?
Yes, as far as.
All right, let's get it real quick. Elder Lawya, get it for me?
Yes, sir. 1 Timothy 5:1.
Listen to this, sister. 1 Timothy, so what is a woman's position to lead? Right? 1 Timothy 5, verse 1. All right?
Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren, the elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, with all purity.
So the elder women are looked upon as what? As mothers, right? So the mother takes a what? A leadership position, but a mother is also a nurturer, right? She cares for the young ladies and the young men in the congregation like a mother would, right? Hold on, let me pull this back. Right? 1 second. Right? Hold on. Read on, Elder Lawya.
3. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before God.
Come on.
Now she that is a widow indeed, and desolate, trusteth in God, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day.
So she stay in supplication and prayer for the church, for the people. It also goes into guiding the young women. Read on.
Yes, sir. Jumping down to verse number 9.
Number 9, let not a widow
be taken in the number under 60 years old.
60 is within 60, right? So when you get up to that age, 50 on up around 50 to 60, you're in that guidance position in the church, right? Read.
Having been the wife of one man.
The wife of one man, that means she's known amongst the church, a reputation to be married, right? Have raised children, read.
Well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children.
She have brought up children.
If she have lodged strangers.
She have looked out for strangers.
If she have washed the saints' feet.
She have always looked out for the saints.
If she have relieved the afflicted.
She's always been there to relieve those who are in trouble.
If she have diligently followed every good work.
Read.
But the younger widows refuse.
But the younger widows, these are the younger women without men, and this was being written in the church, they refuse to be responsible in this manner. Read.
But the younger widows refuse. For when they have begun to wax wanton against Christ, they will marry, having damnation because they have cast off their first faith.
Because they have cast off their first faith. It's talking about them just operating carnally, without them coming in the spirit of a virgin, the spirit of a woman who was seeking to help the church. Read on. And withal
they learn to be idle, wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers, also and busybodies, speaking things which they ought not.
So the elder women are supposed to train the younger women not to be all in rumor, not being in other people's homes, talking about what's going on with other people's family. The older women are supposed to show the younger women, no, you don't do that, right? You can't do that because one day you'll have a home. And the power of a man's home is the discretion of it. You don't want to shame your home by having your business in someone else's house, right? So the elder women are training young girls to be like that because what? It's easy to go into a rumor mill with the modern day technology, with social media, and you heard what happened over here? Didn't she do this and didn't he do that? And the next thing you know, the focus leaves Christ and it goes on into what? Rumor and innuendo. The church is now veering off from its path to help the people. And the reality is, let me tell you, the reality is, since Adam and Eve, all marriages have had issues. Okay? Since Adam and Eve. So when people start going into rumors of other people's houses and all that, it'll shake the faith of some people. They'll be like, man, how could they be doing this? No. There's struggles in everyone's house. And guess what? That's why the Bible says a wife's discretion fatten a husband's bones. She ain't supposed to be telling her business about her house and her family to other people. And young girls aren't supposed to be doing that either. Right? And that's what the elder women, like leaders, need to make sure that a lot of that activity is curtailed. You're training the women, the young girls, to be virtuous, right? You're training them like you would a daughter, right? That's a leader. You got that? Where does it stand? Who had the question? You got it? You're showing people not to be busybodies and all that. And then the 14th verse says, I will therefore, read.
Yes, sir, verse 14.
The younger women.
I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
And give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. You got some people who think they're doing the Lord's will by minding everyone else's business. No, you have become the child of the devil. Your house is your business. Right? That's why it says in the 15th verse, for some have already turned aside after Satan. Right? Everyone is not supposed to be in other people's business like that. If people are struggling with something, they're fighting through something as a family, they ought to get the support from leadership to overcome that with discretion. Right? Because everyone should have their integrity intact. All right? No one came to church to be a part of someone's rumor mill. Okay? So you got that? Well, that's going to be the end of the broadcast, but then, oh, you got another question? Come on. You come on. How you doing, young man? All right. What say you? No, you can get right. You get on that side. Yep. Shabbat Shalom. How old are you, young man? 35. Let me get you on here. How long have you been up in this truth?
2 years now.
2 years. And where did you find us?
From my uncle, the Orlando body.
Through the Orlando body.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Move over there a little bit. Oh, right there. All right, talk to me.
I heard you said it's going to get real, basically 2026.
Oh, yeah, it's going to get real.
Yeah, so I was thinking, what in particular do we got to look forward to? Like, is it a famine, sickness? It could be, are they war?
A great question. All of the above. All right? So, but what you got to do is what you have to do, not what's going to happen. Everything you said is going to happen. We're in the midst of it now. They just haven't reported it to the people yet. They're rationing already. Right? So, what you have to do is stay in the laws of the Most High, follow the directions within the church with the leadership. But what you got to do on a personal basis for your family is to prepare. You have to think about what type of trade or what type of gift the Most High have given you that can sustain through all of it outside of a regular job. What can you do that can actually produce something, even if you weren't working, that can help sustain your family? That's where you need to be thinking. What type of job, what type of work you do?
Truck driver.
Truck driver. Now, you know, they done gave all of these illegals CDLs without telling people, right? So that they can now, because They're only paying these other truck drivers $15 an hour without any contracts that's coming from other countries.
When I was in trucking school, they had a lot of immigrants there going for free, while I was paying $12,000 for the class.
Yep. They're paying for them to replace our people that's truck driving, because guess what? That's a job that can give you instant financial upward mobility. At one time, believe it or not, in the 80s and in the 90s, it was very few of our people, men, doing it. It was those white guys out there getting all that money, taking stuff, and then our people got wind of it and began to do it. But now, they're going to do two things with the truck driving industry. They're going to replace it with industry, which is, at the least, drive down the wages. Because if they can pay other people less money, then they don't have to offer you the going rate. So I see y'all probably experiencing a lot of that now, right?
Yeah, we are.
They're driving down the wage. But then they're going to bring autonomous trucks, where the trucks will actually go on the highway to certain stations, and then the smaller trucks like Amazon and all that are going to pick it up from there. So that's where they're going eventually. So if I was you, since driving is your thing, I would find a way you should find a way to get your own truck and contract it out. Even if you have to get a pickup truck and get an LLC and do odd jobs where you tow people, drop stuff off, and do all types of things, where now you're getting money on a regular basis just driving and adding up that and just putting it away. If driving is your thing, it's going to come in handy, right? But find out, okay, this is what you do. This is what you do. You're 35. Whatever you get annually, find out what that is, right? Find out how many runs you make to make that particular salary. Then you break down, how many of these runs can I do in a year if I was doing these myself with a pickup truck in a personal contract? Go into those areas. Start thinking more independent when it comes to your trade, and you'll be fine, okay? Because it'll lead you in that mindset you'll take into other areas to be able to sustain your family, all right? But yeah, it's going to get real. But right now, it's about a financial crunch. It's about squeezing our people financially, and it will lead to what? It will lead to everyone eventually having to acquiesce with the new system, the socialist system. Yeah. And also what you have to do, and it's hard for our people to think about doing this, we're going to have to, eventually, brother, listen to what I'm telling you. Let me put this here. We're going to have to understand when it's time to scale down the budget. What is my overhead? Right? What is my overhead monthly? And how can I budget that, even if I got a downscale to a lower living standard, but still be able to sustain with more capital towards resources? Sometimes what happens, instead of us dealing with the reality that they have taken everything away, we pick up extra jobs and start Ubering and start DoorDashing to sustain, and still our head is barely over water. When life is telling we can't afford, because one thing happens, now you're homeless. So if you're barely making it, it's time to scale down so that you can have more resources. Not to say one day that you can't make a decision to get better if the Most High provides for you, but at least you have something. A lot of us, and it keeps us stagnant because we just live according to our means. And we just make enough to sustain that when life is telling us. And I'm gonna tell you what taught me this. Because what taught me this is because I was living the same way, right? But when I was out in a different country with no one to help, you have to start with what you barely have, right? So it's getting rid of everything, starting from scratch, knowing you don't have much. So you're beginning to budget with what you have from the beginning. Man, I'm like, man, I should have did this while I was in the United States, right? But I knew that you can't call mom. You're in Egypt somewhere. You can't call the family and say, give me a few bucks to hold me over. So you have to budget knowing that's all you have. But when I started doing that, I started realizing, okay, I'm living at a certain scale and I'm able to actually save money slowly. Right? Right? And then you go up a little bit more, right? And then you begin to produce more, and even more overhead begin to happen in scale, and you're saving money. And I'm like, man, why didn't I think about this in the United States? You know why I didn't think about it? Because in the United States, you're always comparing yourself to someone else, and you're just trying to keep up. And you don't want to be shamed as one of the people who don't have opposed to your next door neighbor. It's an entirely different mindset when you're thrust out of Babylon and have to live off of what you have. But think about this, and I think this is where our people are going to suffer the most. The model I'm talking about, the replacements that are coming over into the United States, they're already living by that model I learned by living somewhere else, which is going to give them the advantage over us. So we have to swallow our pride and understand, okay, if we're making a good salary but still aren't seeing anything on the end of it, and we still scraping, it's time for us to not care about what other people think, to sustain like Joseph did, to scale down. All right? So to scale down, I'm going to tell you, it's nothing but, let me tell you, I'm just checking out when we go to Tabernacle, right? The Most High be showing us signs right in front of us, but we be sleeping on it. When we be going to Tabernacles and we see those other people out there with those trailers and all that living there where they got their place to stay and barely paying for electric or something, you think those people are broke? Even the guy with the nice trailer, he gets up every morning, he dresses up and all that. He probably go into an office and they probably think that he lived in some big townhouse somewhere. But he has a plan. These people out there on those trailer parks, they got a plan. And their plan is because they know something is coming. And I'm not going to just throw my money into something and not be able to plan for what's going on. So it be right in front of us. We be seeing these people doing certain things, but are totally just engulfed in our own world. Something is coming. Esau, just a nation in of itself. For the last decade, there have been preppers online saying, been prepping. Now, I got enough food right now that can feed a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I mean, we got jarred food, canned food, name it. I have to give that away and start it again. But brother, something is coming. So what you got to do is look. We got a church plan that's following the leaders that are saying here, so that you're in the know. When a report comes down on what to do, you're a part of that. But then there's personal planning. If something happens, how can I sustain my family and still be able to contribute to what the church is doing to help us long term through the trouble that's coming? Right? So you got to start thinking now. Don't let the circumstance dictate your path. So many of us, we get hit with something and then we have to pivot based on the disaster. No, you dictate your path. You got it? My brother.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Shalom, sir.
Brother Joel, my question is, so I've been in body for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to reach out to my people, right, in the community, especially the Puerto Rican community.
Okay, you say can you put the mic closer to your mic? Martha? You've been trying to reach out to the people of your community.
Mm-hmm.
And who's that?
Especially the Puerto Rican.
Okay, all right.
Dominicans and
Okay.
around
Yeah, the 10 tribes.
Mm-hmm. So, they're in, already deep into Pentecost, and, and every time I speak to them, I want to build them up. I don't want to, pull them away from their faith or whatever they believe in. So, what are ways where I can build them up to, not scare them away, but to actually find the truth, let them know that Pentecost is not, not the real deal, but, just trying to find different avenues of ways that I can not lure them in or things like that, but to actually, let them know that this, these are our people and things like that. I didn't know how to structure the question.
Well, understand, you're saying that you got a lot of people in your area that go to the Pentecostal church that are from the 10 tribes. Mm-hmm. I grew up in a Pentecostal church. The best way to go about that is through flyers. A good feature that we have now that's on YouTube is that, matter of fact, AC told me about this yesterday. There's a new feature on YouTube. It doesn't matter your language now. Anywhere in the world, you can put it there. And I'm speaking to you in your language. So it's not just subtitles. If somebody wanted to see the Gathering of Christ Church in Russia, and I'm teaching, I'm speaking Russian to them. So that's a new feature. They just told me yesterday that's a part of that now they have allowed our channel to do. So what I would do is I would make personal flyers and find the videos in particular that interest you. Right? And get and see if you can actually put those on the flyers and give to them and invite them to the church. That's the way to go about it, right? Because we have to do it in a respectful manner, right? They are good people that are seeking Christ. So it's not wrong that they're seeking Christ. It's just that they're under a wrong, a pagan doctrine. But what I would utilize is what interests me. One of the greatest videos I think have an impact is the two videos, The Name of the Most High and the 12 Lost Tribes Found. I would put those particular videos in particular for them to look at and put it on a flyer and have them just reach out and see it on their own, right? Because they're seeking it. Usually when it comes to them dealing with Israelites, they try to avoid Israelites or those like us because, they seek to avoid confrontation. They think it's going to be a confrontation or a debate or all these other things they see. And people are just avoiding at this point. They're being taught in their church to avoid us. Right? Yeah. So I would say, be Christ to them. Be Christ. Be charitable. Be respectful. And set up an engagement. And ask them if they would like to talk. There's something that you believe would seriously interest them concerning Christ's ministry. And speak to them on that level. Right? Not that what they're learning is wrong, but there's more that they should be able to get the understanding of concerning Christ. And you have some information to help them with that. Right? No, you'll have the information. Be all things to all men to gain a few. Right? Sometimes what happens? Paul had to go up into the temple. So if you have to sit down, go into where they are sometimes on a Wednesday night and hear their Bible study or whatever the case is, but not with the intention of divisiveness and all that, but just to be on equal footing to understand what they're dealing with. The ministry can set up opportunity like that, right? And I learned the best way to get to them, to get to anybody, is when I was teaching outside. I wasn't just teaching usually. I would have food. I would have soup. I would have things to feed the poor. And that alone broke the ice where they realized, okay, what this guy's doing is different than those guys up the street, right? So, hey, it's a shame, but we have to live with the stigma that comes with being an Israelite, because that's the reputation that's out there. But still, what we can do is do what Christ say. We can feed the poor. When y'all go out to teach and give out flyers, come together and just feed the people and have the poor come and teach while you're doing that. Teach Christ. And that will break the ice where some of the pastors will invite you in and all that. It happened with me. All right? And I think that I'm going to add some of that, some of those particular ministry engagement type understandings in the Maccabee classes we're having when it comes to ministry. How do you break the ice? How do you show someone who's already in another religion the path? Let's put it that way, without offending them, right? How do we bridge the gap? And sometimes what we have to do inside churches is when we have special, I would say, and there's one thing we have to do. We're going to need to have more community conversations. When something is going on in the community and people need direction on what's going on, we got to be able to go into a church and bring everyone in and say, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what God is saying concerning it, because that's what the community needs. They need insight. They need information. So we got to be more community engaged to a point where we're teaching in these areas, that we invite people in to give them insight to what's going on politically, and what does that mean for them prophetically. So, and this is one of the reasons why I'm going into some of these churches and getting the brothers and sisters together, because when we begin some of these initiatives, it's going to transfer into the same communities we're gathering at. Because it's unfair that we're right around our people and we're preparing for the end of the world and we're letting them walk right by. No, we're going to have to let them know, hey, y'all need to come in and hear what's going on here. Okay? And what we need to do is make some COVID flyers. We need to make some flyers concerning what to do in a crisis. Like, did we learn anything during the coronavirus? And I would title it just like that. What they told us, and now what we realize were lies. And have it all on the flyer, and at the end of it have a book of Revelation where it talks about being stung as scorpions and all of that in the book of Revelations. Just to let you know that even all of that is Bible prophecy. We need community flyers to be able to pass out flyers on, dealing with topics on the level people are dealing on, and concern with the concerns our people are concerned about. So think about what our people are dealing with, and let's come up with some flyers that will stimulate conversation based on what's going on in the earth. And usually those particular types of initiatives will draw people in. Okay? Thank you. Yes, sir. How you doing, sir?
Okay.
Can you put the mic in front of you?
I have a question.
Yes.
Concerning, did you say, I know you was just talking to the brother that first was up here.
Can you put the mic close to your mouth? Like this?
Yeah. I'm not used to all that.
It's fine.
Concerning, I didn't quite hear everything that you said today.
You talking about the truck driver?
Yeah. I was thinking to myself like trying to start a business. Would you say it's a good time to start something?
Brother, if it's in your mind, do it.
Do you think it's worth it?
It is worth it, because you have to realize when you start a business, it's not just about the money, it's the learning curve that comes with the skill. It's what you learn while doing it.
Okay, what about getting a bigger, like getting a house, something like that, building something?
Brother, as long as, hey, if it's in you, do it.
In this time?
Yeah, in this time, because you have to think about this, brother. I was living in the Greek islands, right?
Right.
And I knew people who owned houses in England, right?
Right.
And they had people, they had real estate people rent out their house and do all types of stuff, and it was giving them resources to help them where they were. Having an asset isn't a bad thing if you can turn it into something tangible and it make that tangible thing work for you. It's no different than you go to work, right? Just say if someone have a job, you go to work and get a paycheck, right?
Right.
What's the difference than you having an asset and that asset giving you a paycheck? The difference is you done freed up time to do more.
Right.
So then we have to start what? Reprogramming ourselves to understand, hold up, we were taught to feel that it's wrong unless we're working for someone. While the enemy and others have assets that works for them, no matter where they are. It's still you getting paid, but instead of someone paying you, people are paying you directly. So if you had real estate, nothing wrong with that. Because you can, just say if we have to go somewhere and you have to get dual citizenship in another country, it can be managed here and the money can be sent to you as long as it be sent to you until this thing go down. But at least you have resources coming to you. Or if things really started going down, you can sell it and have resources, and now you can take those resources and allocate it someplace else.
Okay. Understand.
So that's the whole thing. What you're doing is you're giving yourself some level of flexibility. Now when you go in someplace, you're not going someplace with financial uncertainty. And you're going to take that same business mind of how you did this every other place, no matter what it is. That's how Joseph was able to survive and do what he did in Egypt. It was all a business model, every last bit of it. Even on how to store food, how to negotiate with the other countries who will be in a famine. All of that is strategic planning. So whatever the Most High is putting in your mind to do, don't say because we're at the end of the world, I can't do that. No, if the Most High put it in your mind to do it, do it. Because then you're going to realize how you can utilize that no matter where he takes you. You understand? But this is what people do. They become stifled and say, well, we come to the end of the world. Well, I can't do this and I can't do that. And then wonder at the end when you don't have nothing, when it's time to pivot, and the Most High is going to be like, hey, I put the idea in your mind 2 years ago. And you didn't listen. I was waiting on Elder Rawchaa to tell me whether or not I should do it. And the Most High is like, hey, are you going to listen to Rawchaa or are you going to listen to me? The Most High put it in your mind to do it. You don't have to wait for another man to build the works of your hands. That's all you got is the work of your hands when the Most High give you an idea. You don't have to wait for another man for that. And then what happens? When everything breaks down and we need to now consolidate and sell everything, we can now put it all together and distribute it and have all things common because we got something to distribute. Right? You go run through that wall. All right.
Just 2 years ago, you helped me bury my wife.
Huh?
It was 2 years ago from now that you helped me bury my wife. I just want to thank you. I never had the opportunity to thank you, Bishop.
All praises be to the Most High, brother. Thank you for all you do, and I thank the Most High that we had the means to be able to help our people.
I just want to shake your hand.
Oh, brother, you can do more than shake my hand, right? My brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Blessings. My brother.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm sorry, right here. I'm holding my child. Sister Connie.
Yes.
I actually moved by it, so I got a little choked up, but always I don't want you guys being here today. I had a question about the Lawya program. I remember
The what program?
I think you said the Lawya and Maccabees program, one for women, one for the boys.
Okay, no, I said it's going to be, I think I was going to name it the Sisters of Sarah, something like that for the daughters.
So my interest in it is you mentioned something about teaching young girls how to care for their hair properly. I'm in the business of hair care, and I've been in the business for a few years now, and it's something I'm very passionate about.
Okay.
Grounds. So if whenever you choose to decide to run that,
Okay.
I'm very interested in things.
Okay. Well, when we announce it, I'll definitely, it'll be an announcement straight from the church, and you'll be able to participate, put your name in. All right. All right, so I wanted to have like a private meeting for those who wanted to talk to us. This is going to conclude our lesson online, and tomorrow we'll be going into the 4 beasts of Daniel. Brothers and sisters out there, we thank you for being a part of this, but now it's time for me to meet with the congregation here privately. May the Most High be with us. Stay prayed up. We'll see you tomorrow in the academy. We got 2 more weeks, and we are now about to start a new academy altogether in a few weeks. So go to historytimes.org to be a part of it. historytimes.org to get enrolled in the new Hebrew Bible Academy. I'll be talking about all of that coming soon, what all that entails. Thank you for supporting us. $GOCC report if you want to support us out there through Cash App. historytimes.org academy. Go to gatheringofchrist.org to find the church, to find a congregation. Shalom, may the Most High be with you. And shalom to the rest of the world. I want to speak to the congregation. Shalom. All right.
The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. you're invited.